Hi everyone, I'm Erica and welcome to the first part of the Sinclair Patterns Yasmin dress sew along. So this is a PDF pattern that you can get online at sinclairpatterns.com. I'll put a link down below. It's a very affordable PDF pattern. I think it's between $10 and $12. And it has a beautiful vintage reproduction feel. So the dress has a V-neck, and I'll show you the details here. It has a gorgeous V-shaped waistband, and then pleats or gathers at the waistband of the dress as well as the shoulders. There's a few different length options. There's a knee length, a midi length, as well as a full length maxi dress. You can use anything from a short sleeve all the way to a long sleeve. And during the course of this sew along, I'm also going to show you guys a hack that I've used to create big puffy sleeves, but you could also use this to create bishop sleeves for this dress. I'll talk to you guys a little bit more about the fabric that you use in the dress, and I'll show you all the different versions I've made with it. So this is for knit fabrics, and according to Sinclair Patterns, your fabric choices should be, let me find the page. Okay, so your fabric choices need 50% horizontal and 20% vertical stretch. So you're going to be wanting a four-way stretch knit fabric. And you can choose things like rayon, viscose, bamboo, spandex, elastane, lycra, ITY single and double brushed poly, interlock, lightweight jerseys. You can use some heavier fabrics like French terry and sweater knits, but they have to have that four-way stretch. So I'm going to show you guys some of the different versions I've made. This first one I'm wearing right now is in a cotton spandex that I got a couple years ago at Girl Charlie. As you can see, it has quite a nice elasticity to it and recovery. I did these short sleeves, and I'll go back and show you the whole dress. So there's also two skirt options for this dress. This is the regular skirt, and then there's also a gathered skirt, and I can talk to you guys a little bit more. I have one gathered skirt that I've made that I can show you. This dress also has inseam pockets, which you can add, and I think is a really nice option. So footnote, all of Sinclair's patterns come with pockets, so I think that's kind of cool. So what was my sewing experience with the cotton spandex? It's very easy to sew. It does curl up a little bit. The skirt on this one sits out and is the most full. So it has the least, it almost feels more like the late 40s, early 1950s because it's a fuller skirt with the spandex. The waistband stays very nicely. All around, it was a great fabric to work with, and it makes me wonder why I never bothered to make it out of cotton spandex again. So I might have to order some cotton spandex. Let's go to the next one. So this one is done in a rayon spandex. And I used a double brushed poly for the inside part. So this waistband has two sections. It's actually a doubled waistband. I'll show you on this. So turning it inside out, when you make it, you're actually going to sandwich the bodice between the waistband. The waistband's cut double and it's all finished on the inside. This gives a nice amount of firmness to the waistband, so it's still comfortable and stretches, but it sits up and holds its shape. So, as you can see, if you make this in a rayon, you get a nice flow, and also the skirt has a more narrow silhouette closer to the body. More 1940s looking with this particular version. You also, though, don't get as much crispness at the neck because this fabric is quite flowy, but it takes the gathers very well. And I like these. In fact, I like rayon spandex, the rayon spandex lycra blend. I made a couple more in this. Be right back. Here's another one in rayon. As you can see, much lighter feeling to the dress. These are great for summer because rayon breathes. I did the elbow length sleeve this time. It's a little bit of a longer short sleeve and I really like it. When I do them with rayon, I omit the pockets because the rayon's a little thin for pockets. And again, if I use rayon, I do a thicker medium weight fabric for the inside waistband. All right, this one is in a tropical print double brushed poly. I did a shorter short sleeve. I've got a little bit of a shorter right at the knee neckline. Double brushed poly is fantastic for this dress. It's comfortable. It shows the pleating or ruching detail really well. It holds its shape. It washes and dries beautifully all around. It's a great fabric for this dress. And it's just thick enough that I feel like I can put pockets. And I've got a few more in this. Okay, this version is in a navy blue. And what's called a DTY poly. So it's still a polyester fabric, but it's DTI, which is double twist poly. So it's a little lighter than the double brushed poly I just showed you, but not as light as the rayon. I also did a hack to add a little bit of a puff to the top of the sleeve and kept the sleeve kind of short. So you can do some pretty good sleeve hacks with this. It's very easy. And like I said, I'll show you one a little later. But this is my navy blue one. I feel like with red accessories, it's a great sort of 1940s look with the right hair. This is a victory roll away from a very comfortable 1940s look. Okay, what about a sleeveless version? Easy to do. It has a facing that they give you that's like a binding that you can put on for the sleeves. I left that out so it has a little bit more of like a cap sleeve almost feel, but you could also turn that binding in and sew it down and have a more conventional sleeveless effect. This is another DTY poly in a pink. And I think it's a great spring summer dress. You can make it a peplum top with a sassy pair of jeans or a pencil skirt. You can get a cute little peplum top. This is a DTY poly. And this one held the shoulder gathers really nicely. These softer fabrics are really good for that. And then I actually put a very subtle, gosh, I put it down in some cat hair. Great. There's a little pleat. See that? It's hard to see because it's black, but there's a little pleat that makes these kind of vertical lines, that horizontal lines that kind of go back around the back of the sleeve. So you can play with sleeves. All right, look at this one. We've got polka dots. We've got these cute little decorative buttons down the front that you can add. And look at that sleeve. Big, dramatic puffed sleeve. You could also do this as a bishop sleeve and it would look beautiful. This is another brushed poly, very soft, very smooth, and this has a little bit of the gathered skirt. And what I do when I make the gathered skirt is I just put the gathers right in the front and right in the back, and I leave it more smooth through the sides. And that gives you that little bit of extra fabric. It's good for covering a tummy, if you're like me and you have one. And all around, this one is really fun. I love the sleeves, and I will show you guys how to do those sleeves very soon. So let's talk about how much fabric you need to make this dress. You're going to want to start thinking about those different types that I talked about. And you're going to need, for the bodice of the dress, is 1 yard of fabric. For the gathered or non-gathered knee-length skirt, you need 1.5 yards. If you decide to do the midi-length skirt, that's 1 7/8 yards, so almost 2 yards. but it depends on how tall you are. And then the gathered skirt for the maxi length version is 2.5 yards. If you're using, so around 3 yards will pretty much let you do any size you want, like of skirt and top. If you are doing the big puff sleeves, you might want to do 3.5 yards just to make sure you have some extra on hand. I personally usually order between 2.5 and 3 yards of fabric. I'm 5'3", so I cut with their petite. And that's the other thing about Sinclair patterns. They have 3 lengths of dress. They have the petite, the regular, and the tall option. And that refers to the torso as well as the skirt length. Sizing things to look out for in this dress. You're going to want to measure from your shoulder down under your bust where that seam for the waist is going to be. And you're going to want to make sure that that length is enough length for you. So compare it to your pattern. If you need to add length to the pattern, that's going to be where you want to do it. If you have a very big bust, the seam here might end up too high, like across the bust, and we don't want that. So you want to make sure that you're giving yourself enough length through the bust that this fits properly. You also might want to check your waistband length and make sure that's long enough so that the waistband is sitting at the waist and then ending where you want your skirt to stop. But aside from that, it's a very well drafted pattern, and like I said, with the 3 different bodice lengths, you can really find something that's very close to the length you need without making a huge amount of adjustments. So I'm pretty confident everyone can find a size in this dress that is at least close to their measurements. To give you an idea of the range of sizes the dress actually has, this will fit a bust from 31 to 50.4, waists from 23.6 inches to 44.1 inches, and then hips from 33.9 inches to 53.5. So there's a pretty good range of sizes here. And then from the 0 size to the size 8, which is a 37-inch bust, you're looking at it being drafted for a BC cup. So keep that in mind. And then if you're a size 10 to a 18, you're looking at a CD cup draft. And then the 20 to 22 size, the 2 fullest sizes it comes in, is looking at a D to E draft. So because it's a knit, you may not need a full bust adjustment. That's why I'm telling you to make that length measurement. But if you can get that right, this dress is very easy to sew, very easy to fit. So I'm going to sign off now, and I'll see you guys in the next video where I talk about how to make these special little add-on sleeves. See you in the next part. Bye!